Wrapping up, I'll talk slow. Okay, call the meeting order at 7. First on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good timing. That's right. Okay, just appoint the ADA Title VI grievance forms as well as a voluntary public involvement survey are available in the hanging wall files for anyone interested. That's part of our requirement for the community crossing funding. Okay, next the approve the minutes.
Make a motion we approve the minutes.
Second. Motion made by Mr. Brzezinski, seconded by Mr. Burnett to approve the minutes. Is there any discussion? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Ms. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Mr. Brzezinski?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 5-0. Next, the approval of claims.
Make a motion we approve the claims.
I'll second the motion. Motion made by Mr. Brzezinski, seconded by Albert to approve the claims. Is there any discussion? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Mr. Brzezinski?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 5-0. You saw Central Guys, the claims are the bills. We just approved to pay the bills since last time. Okay, next, the utilities. MCO reports, not a lot to go over right now. There's as most of us know that live in town, there's a system-wide power outage on March 3rd, and they were called out for a high alarm at the Nash Finch Dollar General Station, and the controller failed due to the power surge, and they were out. Superior pumping was out on March 4th, and that's repaired. On the water project, Jeff Rao, the our financial person, and John Sturgeon from McMahon have been contacted by the state in reference to the water project. The state is going to commit $85,000. They're paying it for a preliminary engineering report and a system modeling project. What the engineering report is where they determine costs and what has to be constructed. The modeling project will be done first. That will determine by the size of our lines and the distance that has to go, what size lines will be needed, if they will tie into our existing large main that runs along 421, or they will build directly to the plant, which those costs will be picked up by the state of Indiana. But and then they're also working on that they'll be getting for you to review a MOU on the project cost. That's about it. Probably next month we'll go ahead and set up a group for the guaranteed savings contract where we have to interview. We could probably do that tonight. We did it on the sewer project. Guaranteed savings contract, what it is, rather than where it's bid out, you get contractors that come in, they say what they can do, or talk about their qualifications, and then when they give you a price for the project, it's to complete the project. There's no overruns on it unless there was something that would be added at our discretion. And they're guaranteed a profit. Their books are opened up, you can see what their profit is. Anything above the profit they anticipate to make, you can buy more equipment with or anything. It's not like they can run up the pricing because they're only going to be guaranteed their profit. Anything else would be buy equipment. It's kind of it's a big thing in the state of Indiana now with the state agencies and municipalities. Would anybody object if we go ahead and do that tonight? Go ahead, so we're ready to hit the ground running. Last time it was John Sturgill from McMahon, Nathan Howell from MCO, myself. You were on it, right, Lori? Tom was on it. Would anybody on the council like to sit in on it? Volunteer Jim Bashinsky. Don't remember, were you in on it? You were on it, okay. I think we had 6 on it. I don't think we had anybody else on it. Okay, so I'll make a motion that we set up the committee for the guaranteed savings contract. Myself, John Sturgill, Nathan Howell, Lori Mercer, Jim Bashinsky, and Doug Beege.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Albert, second by Mr. Bashinsky to set up the committee for the guaranteed savings contract for the water project if it comes to fruition. Is there any discussion? Mr. Burnett? Yes. Mrs. Beforiski?
Yes.
Mr. Bashinsky?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly? Albert votes yes. Okay, anything, anybody have on utilities? Streets?
Nothing to report.
Parks?
Nothing.
Police?
For February, we had 307 calls for service, 68 traffic stops, we served 3 warrants, and we had 5 accidents. I wanted to ask about the idea of dealing with the ordinances that the police department deals with on a regular basis. The ordinances that we have date back to the 80s. So they've gone through several town attorneys and different living conditions and everything, and they're all written differently, so it's kind of like organized chaos, sort of. So I don't know if it's a possibility, but I wouldn't mind putting together like a group of 3 people. Maybe I talked to Jim about it, me, Jim, and maybe somebody from the community. I would like to take all those ordinances that are all scattered all over and create one quality of life ordinance that the police department has to deal with instead of flipping through dozens and dozens of outdated ordinances. And I don't know, Doug, is that something that we would be able to do?
Yeah.
Okay. That's my idea. It would definitely, I think we should involve somebody from the community and then Jim and then me. I mean, if I just write them, I'm gonna write them like a police officer, and we don't have, if we get input from the community, that would fall in line with the 21st century policing that we all swore to adopt. So I would like to establish that and start working on those ordinances.
Okay. Any objections?
And we can maybe kind of reach out to people in the community and see who's interested.
Okay.
And then tonight, the safety board interviewed Heather Fisher. She applied for the last opening that we have. I believe they voted yes, correct me?
Correct.
I'd like permission to start her as a lateral. So she would start at the first class patrolman salary. She's got 3 years of experience here on top of experience from excise. She's kept up all of her certifications, so it'd be a abbreviated FTO, and then she'll be ready to go.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Sounds great.
That's it?
That's it.
That's got to be a record. 2 in a row. Anything else on police? Okay, finance, we have resolution 23-3. It's a transfer of funds. It's moving money from the art fund into the general fund as we got the art money reappropriated. So we have resolution 2023-3, transfer funds. Be it resolved by the town council with the following funds be transferred. Transfer $2,000 from appropriation 240-100-1313, other fees and service art fund, to appropriation 110-100-2313, other fees and services general fund. I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 2023-3.
Seconded.
Motion made by Albert, second by Ms. Kelly. Any discussion? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Mr. Mashinsky?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 5-0. Okay, as you remember, last month we talked about the cumulative capital development fund. We had to reestablish it. Indiana code has changed, so this is the last time it'll have to be, as of now, have to be reestablished. It was posted, legally posted in the newspapers, and at 6:30 tonight, we had a public hearing. There was no public comment for or against. So I would like to make a motion that we approve ordinance 2023-3 on the first reading.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Ms. Kelly to approve ordinance 2023-3 on the first reading. Is there any discussion? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Mr. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes, it's fine.
Oh, either one. Mr. Mashinsky?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 5-0. I'll make a motion that we suspend the rules and adopt ordinance 2023-3.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Ms. Kelly to suspend the rules and adopt ordinance 2023-3. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Is that discussion?
That was the discussion.
Mrs.
Yes.
Pothorsky? Mr. Mashinsky?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly? Albert votes yes, passes 5-0. Anything else under finance?
No, I don't have.
Fire Department activity report?
39 calls for the month of February, 25 town limits, 9 in the township, 2 in Jackson, and 3 mutual aids with other departments. Looking to have the new engine placed in service in the next month. Pretty much everything's in and on it. It's just a matter of getting guys and gal some drive time, depending on how bipolar Mother Nature can be with wet, snow and ice. Big thing for us, we got donated 2 of the Lucas device machines, or CPR machines. They came from an area department, or area EMS department that was getting rid of them because they got some new ones, saved us about $28,000. We have been looking at grants for them throughout the county. Every time it goes out, for some reason it gets denied. So the department started getting them themselves. So luckily we got that. The only cost that we incurred was about $2,000 of putting the batteries on them. Because they were never charged up and cycled through, so they ended up basically becoming dead batteries at that point. One thing we recently decided on at our last business meeting, the old engine that we are getting rid of because of the replacement, we are now donating to the A.K. Smith Center, the vocational center.
Oh, very good.
So it's something that's feasible for them to use. We're gonna give them some nozzles, some hose, stuff like that too. But at least we can hopefully get some Westville kids through that vocational program on our truck, or see if we've given something back to the future generation.
Very cool. Do they have a firefighting program
Yes.
now? Okay.
Yeah, their junior year, they come out with their Fire 1 and 2 certification, and then their senior year, they walk out with their EMT cert.
It's good. I know
I don't like that.
Indiana State Prison, I think, has a program.
Yes.
They did.
Yeah, I believe that they still do. I was actually just contacted, we got only old training material for that. We're gonna go through that too. Last thing I got is just looking for members. We're still hurting. You know, I know it's hard to get people to volunteer, but if you guys have anybody, send them down any Monday night. Give them my number, most of you guys have it. I'll meet with somebody to talk to them, explain what goes on, but we're down to about 15 and holding steady. The unfortunate thing is, out of those 15, we're all getting old.
Well, speak for yourself.
We're lacking the 20 to 30-year-old demographic.
That's happening in a lot of places.
Yes.
What's the age limit, Jason?
We don't have an age limit, so if you want to come back and drive a truck, I'll drop an application off at the house.
Okay. I think I watched it on TV.
Yeah.
Chicago Fire is good.
You have to be 21.
Oh, I was going to ask, that's what I was
21.
gonna
You
ask.
gotta be 21 to be on our insurance for driving trucks.
Okay.
18 for your certification, 21 for driving.
Okay, so 18, 18, they can still do it.
17, no.
So 18, they could still come and be a part of it, but
Yes, they
21 to drive.
They can't drive the truck.
So I can
Right.
drive.
Well, that makes sense.
You might want to try, I don't know, the schools, have you contacted?
We started going up there and then COVID hit and put a damper on that. But that's one thing, starting at the beginning of next year, we're gonna go up and hit it again.
Hit the guidance
Senior
counselors.
class. I'm sorry.
Hit the guidance counselors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a great experience.
Yeah. You need anything like posted around your website, let us know too.
Okay, awesome.
Well, congratulations, you're a associate degree for
Thank you.
fire.
Yeah, that's great.
You weren't here last month when I
Yeah.
mentioned it.
We threw you a party. We
Yeah.
got cupcakes.
Yeah.
and
The cake was
Just
great.
pierogies?
Yeah.
Well, I
It
need
was
more.
like all you can eat pierogi buffet. And you weren't here. I was like, oh.
Of course.
We thought the steaks were good too, the lobster might have been a little overcooked. but-
Yeah, you know, it happens. You probably kept it more late for me to get here.
You took leftovers home for you, you didn't,
I never got those. No, I'll tell you no.
okay, thank you.
That's all I've got.
Hi Kathy, how you doing?
Good. Are you ready for me to talk?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have two things. The first thing is, we are having a community cleanup day again. This has been several years in a row that the Westville United Methodist Church has sponsored that in partnership with the Westville schools. And we go out in teams. I think we have 8 or 9 teams that go out. We divide up the community into sections, and we have team leaders and kids from school. And last year, we had a business who sent like 20 people out, Lippert.
Down here.
Yeah, so that was really cool. They require their employees to do community service in the community that they work. I thought, how cool is that?
Mhm.
So that'll be happening from 9 to 11, April 22nd. So then my next thing is a request from Tri Kappa. We would like to have Sunset Sounds happen again this summer. That's our community concert. And our venue is Prairie Meadow Park. We run that from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Usually we're all shut down by 9 o'clock, so the music really is over 8:30, 8:45, but we clean up and everything before we leave. And
Is that all day, or is it just 6 o'clock at night?
Pardon me?
What time does it start?
6 o'clock.
At night, okay.
At night,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's on Friday night, the second Friday of June, July, and August, which is June 9th, June 14th, and August 11th. So we would like permission from the town to use Prairie Meadows facility there and have the electricity
July
provided.
14th and
August 11th.
August 11th.
I'll make a motion that we allow Tri Kappa to use the pavilion and electricity and everything they need for the Sunset Sounds
I'll second.
on June 8th, no, June
Nine.
9th, July
14th and August 11th. I had my glasses off, I couldn't read.
Until 8 or 9.
Okay, I made the motion, you seconded it?
I seconded it.
Okay, is there any discussion? Mr. Burnett?
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Petrovsky? Mr. Waschinsky?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 5-0.
I have a question. Is the car show happening on Friday nights? Do we know
We
yet?
haven't heard anything from them.
They've not, do they usually ask for permission to use the park? But you have not heard.
Have not heard.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised too.
Well, maybe, let's see, or maybe next, because they usually started in May. We leave those, have them leave those dates off.
There was a,
Pardon?
I
Do you
said we
want
can have them leave those dates
Dates
off.
off,
so
or do you
you-
want them there?
remember that?
You know, we scheduled this on a Friday night because we thought that would be a good community event for families to come see the cars and have music, you know.
So you don't, so it's not, you're not gonna be in each other's way, is what?
I think we coexisted very well last year.
Okay,
I don't think it was a problem. Our only problem that I can foresee is we really want to have a food truck there this year. And we didn't ever have food trucks, you know, when I talked to Ryan Boot, he said, well, we don't really know if food trucks are coming, but they usually do. Somebody usually shows up. But we never had one there when we were doing our concerts. And so, I guess our concern is if we arrange for a food truck to be there and then there's another one or two, then nobody makes any money and then that's sad. You know, somebody takes their time and money to bring their truck out and then we have too many for the amount of people that are there. So that's my only concern with co-running events together, I guess.
So when they come in, it's best to have them coordinate food trucks.
Yeah, if
with
you're
you.
gonna have a food truck, we need to know that.
Right.
But Brian said he didn't ever know when they were coming, so.
Well,
it's
we
kind
can
of a-
limit it when they.
No, it's kind of a lackadaisical kind of operation, it seemed to me. He didn't ever know if there was a food truck coming.
Okay. We'll address that.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else on the miscellaneous? Any citizens' comments? Yes, sir.
Question, just looking for, maybe you guys can elaborate on this a little bit. I thumbed through the budget that was posted and I found opioid settlement unrestricted funds and opioid settlement restricted funds. I was wondering if you guys could elaborate as to what that money is for, or.
We just got notified, Lori can probably answer. I know we just got notified recently on it, maybe the end of the year. It was on a settlement. That's about all I know.
Well, actually, I've been monitoring for the county for some time. Okay, so there's gonna be a series of settlements. This was from Johnson & Johnson, CVS, and another. It was coming through the state of Indiana. And the legislature passed a law that said some of the funds have to be used for specific things, you know, for treatment programs, prevention programs, et cetera, et cetera. And then a small percentage can be, they're unrestricted. You can use it for whatever you want. Okay? There will be more settlements coming down the line, because everything's being litigated in central Ohio. Does that answer your question?
Kind of, I was just curious what the restrictions were on the restricted funds. I mean, the unrestricted funds kind of self-explanatory. But,
It's super complicated,
okay,
okay? And I don't remember it all off the top of my head. So it's a whole, several pages of categories and it has to go to a certain function or place. Okay? So they kind of map out what you can spend the money on, and if you're not in that category, and by when you spend the money, by the way, there's a deadline by which the money has to be spent. You should be able to look it up in the Indiana statutes.
okay.
It's set out, super careful. You got a summary thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I have a thing I have a thing on it, I can put out. The restricted fund is very, basically what you said about, it goes from rehabilitation all the way down to training police staff on how to.
Yeah, you got I mean, if you want to understand, you're gonna have to read it. There's no way,
There's a
anybody's
plethora
gonna
of
remember it.
items, and it's very involved.
Yeah.
We can look at it, because it might be something, if it's certain programs, it might be something both departments can be involved in. Probably at the municipal level, there's probably not as much use for that as what there'd be at the county level.
And we don't have any centers, treatment centers here per se, for people to be used at, but there was a long one.
Yeah.
Do they even know the amounts? They don't until it's,
No.
for the first settlement they do.
The first settlement they do.
Yeah, we got that.
Because that money's been distributed, right?
Yeah, I have that, I
Yeah.
received that, yes.
But there's no way to know how much or when the next settlements are coming, because they're still negotiating all of it.
I'm just curious.
Yeah,
Yes, we did.
we can't have that wall everybody's looking at. Thank you. Anything else?
I have a question.
Sure.
What kinds of things are under the quality of life statutes that we were talking about just a while ago?
Oh, the ordinances?
Yeah, the ordinances.
Oh, gosh.
Give me an example of one.
Abandoned vehicles,
Okay, all right.
that would be one of them. The grass ordinance that we deal with, probably barking dogs, noise complaints, all those things that, they're all in separate individual ordinances, and even the penalties don't line up. I mean, one penalty may be reasonable, the other one might be completely out of this world. So just kind of organizing it all.
Okay, thank you.
Brett Arbridge, probably.
When Ball State came and did the review of our town and made suggestions, one of the things they talked about was making our town more attractive. And when you drive south out of town, we have that trailer park that has several abandoned trailers in it. Doesn't look like anybody's living in
It's
them.
not in the city limits.
It's not in city limits. Well, I'm saying next it.
Annex it, tear it down, it's not.
Let's just put that little chunk right in.
Speaking of, I'm glad you mentioned Ball State. One of the professors that was involved in that, one of the students, I think it was one of the professors, is doing his thesis, must be his doctoral thesis. And he is gonna come back and review and see what worked and what didn't, you know, it's all part of his plan. So we just, or Tom, he knew Tom, so we just contacted Tom like late last week, I believe, so.
He wants to see if we did anything.
I think he wants to see what works and what didn't. And I think he's gonna mention that mobile home park south of town too.
Yeah.
But, no, I don't know if he what he,
Who owns that property?
Last I heard it was somebody in Chicago.
Pardon me?
Someone out of Michigan City, and I do believe someone was looking at it to maybe get them all out of there and do something else with it. I just don't know if he was able to.
Does
do that.
anybody live in there still?
No.
But there was one that had somebody in it.
Well,
What's-
they do, they're,
what's the-
they're a,
what's so crazy about that,
Yeah.
before they closed it, they put a lift station into our force main. I mean, they put money into it, maybe they spent all their money on that, I don't know, but they were starting to like upgrade or had been just, I don't know if it was, it seemed like at one time it was like two brothers or something, and I don't know if something happened to one maybe, or, I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Well, I will when I said anything else, you said yeah.
No, I was talking to Steve,
Okay.
sorry.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mrs. Pothorsky to adjourn. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Being none, meeting adjourned at 7:27. Everybody sign.